Have you ever found some money laying on the ground? Have you ever been walking around and then you're like, hey, there's a couple of dollars or a dollar on the ground? One of the times I was cleaning up the sidewalk area of one of my office buildings, and for some reason, I don't know why, there's like a carry-out restaurant that's like a few buildings down, but we're on the same block. And at night, when we're closed, people would come around. Instead of being in their parking lot where they bought the food, they would come around the corner where my building is at on the side street, and they would eat and then just throw the bags out. One time I was out there just cleaning up the bags with my little pickup thing with the, because I don't want to be bending over. I don't want to touch too much of that stuff. I noticed that there was a $20 bill. So they threw their food out and a $20 bill. That must have been like payment for what they did for the trash that they threw out in my area. But no, have you ever found any money just laying on the ground? Let me tell you a quick story. This is a real story of something that happened with one of my clients yesterday. He was frustrated. He called me frustrated. And when you get frustrated in business, you start to kind of look at other opportunities because something else looks like it's good and that you can make money with that instead of what you're already doing. The reason why is because going through the building and the setup process for a business is a lot easier than actually running the business and making money with the business. And so what I did and what I told them, and I said, hey, we got to keep you focused. You gotta keep doing what we put in place, which is generating leads or generating potential clients that are interested in his service for his business. And because he did not want to speak to anyone, that was the overall goal, is that he wanted to make money without speaking to people, and then he would speak to them after they signed up for his service. That was his goal. He didn't want to call the potential leads or potential customers, qualified potential customers. That's my new phrase. He didn't want to have to call them first to sign them up for his service. And I said that to be able to do that, you're going to have to generate leads, quote unquote, qualified potential customers, send them to your website that we constructed for him, his sales page, and just see what happens. Like, we got to do that over and over. But something that I did say is that we're going to have to make adjustments because people are going to have questions about your business. And the first thing that he said is like, well, if you set it up for other companies, you set it up for your business, why wouldn't the people just automatically buy from my business if you set it up the same way? I said the structure is going to be the same. But what makes one business different than another is that your business is individual from my business. So yes, we could be in the same industry, or two businesses could be in the same industry, but there's going to have to be what I call the secret sauce for your business. And I don't care what business you're in, you're going to have to figure out the way that people will identify what you do is valuable, even if it's the same thing that someone else does. And so I told them the process of doing that is we set up your sales page. That's an automatic. We send the traffic to the sales page, but we capture the information of the individuals that are interested in your services. We capture that information first. And then from them, we're either going to get sales or we're going to get data to see what adjustments we need to make to get sales. Well, I told him, and he had procrastinated on getting this feature. I said that one of the ways, and I'm going to show you another way too, but I like to have, if you want to make money and you want to get, solve the problem of making money with your business, wouldn't you want all of the tools financially available, not going overboard, but some important tools? I'll put it that way. Let me rephrase it. Wouldn't you want some tools that you could utilize to see and understand what people are thinking about when they visited your sales page, so you're able to make adjustments to get more people to go ahead and buy? Because some people will have questions about your particular service being offered from your business. They're going to want to know why it's different from you, every customer, we all want to know what makes you different than the other person or the other company that is offering the same service. And the only way to get that is from feedback from the qualified potential customers who go to your website or visit your store. But for this purposes, we're talking about making money without having to talk to anybody. So what we did is I told him, you need to get these tools in place. He procrastinated, but yesterday he finally had got the tool, but also he had said that there was some problems with upgrading his account that gave him access to that tool that I had told him about. The tool was a shopping cart abandonment tool. Because I told him, like, you have step one of finding out what people want to know or the questions that they may have that are not answered on your sales page. But what if people are going to your sales page and they're filling out the shopping cart and then they're bagging out because of some unanswered question or some feeling that just they didn't feel good or feel right about buying, that they had just an additional question? If you have that cart abandoned feature on your website, enabled with your shopping cart, you would be able to know that. Now, guess how much money was sitting there? So like I said, you found that money sitting on the ground. I found that $20 sitting on the ground. We added it up, and it was over $42,000 of shopping cart abandonments. $42,000. So what do you think I told him that he had to do? I said, number one, you're about to get off the phone with me. And you're about to start calling all of these people who filled out the shopping cart and did not go ahead and push that button to process that order. So, because that's data, you can get information. Now, here are some things that I don't know, people don't know about, or they don't talk about it, or I don't know, but I'm going to talk about it here. There are actually some other reasons why it didn't process, and it could have nothing to do with them not understanding your business and not wanting to order. So on the shopping cart, before I get to the board, on the shopping cart, if you are going to be in business, you need to know more about what processing payments and the credit card system and the banking system. You need to know this information because other people just do not talk about it. They just keep people dreaming on stuff for some reason. You could have an abandoned shopping cart that's not technically abandoned. The order just may not have processed. Because of all of the fraudulent types of transactions, there are keywords that could be within the name of your business that can trigger a fraud alert with the bank of the cardholder's bank, with the cardholder's bank. It could actually trigger where it's going to be a fraud alert. And the person who's trying to order could actually take that the wrong way. So with my company, what we do, and it happens from time to time with one of my companies because it has the word credit inside of that name of that business. So it'll trigger a fraud alert, and it just says, are you trying to do this transaction? That's simple. And my sales reps will call them and say, hey, you were trying to attempt a transaction, and your bank, because you can log into your merchant account services portal, and you can see why the transaction didn't go through. And once you know, you can just call the person up, and you don't even have to do a sales pitch. You can say you were trying to order. We see that a fraud alert popped up. All you have to do is let your bank know that you want to let the transaction go through, and then it'll let it go through. I had this happen at Walmart. My bank was like, hey, you shop at Nordstrom and Saks Fifth Avenue, all of these big places. And I went to Walmart and tried to buy some groceries. We were on a trip, and they were like, you don't be going to Walmart. And so it did a fraud alert and said, are you in Walmart trying to buy $100 and some worth of products? And I had clicked one for yes. Yeah, I am in Walmart. But I could be in Nordstrom and buy $5,000 worth of clothes. And it was like, he goes to Nordstrom. There's no fraud alert. That's crazy. But it could trigger. The reason why I say it is that it could trigger for any reason. It could trigger for any reason. And those could be sales that you're missing. And so when you could either have it triggering because of the name of your business. It could be triggered because they just forgot to open their card. They have these open and close type deals that you can use on your phone or on the card website where you can turn your card on and you can turn your card off. And sometimes people forget, oh, I forgot to turn my card on. So that could be a reason. And then the last reason could be where they just bagged out because they didn't feel comfortable or they had a question. So I immediately told them, you need to get off the phone with me. You need to call all of those people. You need to get as much of that $42,000 that you get, and then you need to share half of it with me. No, I was just joking about that part. But I had told them, you need to get on the phone. Because for the people who did not buy because they had some sort of feeling about your business, they had a question about it, we need to add that to your website. We need to add that to your website. So when I was consulting also yesterday with another client, something came to my mind about how I should explain everything. Because I've always explained it with a 1, 2, 3, my 3-step process. So this one would be your ads. You want to have winning ads. We're not talking about just running ads. You want to generate qualified potential customers, leads, and we want to have our sales page or our presentation page. Because sometimes you can't sell people. Like the person that I was consulting with, also with another business, he can't sell people. He sells stuff to schools, and so he has to talk to the administrators, and they have to go through their process. So I said, you have a presentation page because you don't want to waste their time. You want to tell them what you had to offer so they can make a determination if it's something for them, and then they can contact you. You can have a schedule an appointment on your page there. But he was asking me, he was like, okay, I want to get some ads going to generate qualified potential customers and send them to my sales page. And I was like, I've always trained that you do the 1, 2, 3, but actually you need to do 1, 2, 3 first. You need to get your sales page in order. And then from that sales page, you need to get your follow-up process on what you do with your leads in order. So you want to have your automation in place, and this would be email. You can have text, and you can have chat. And when I say chat, AI chat, where you don't have to do anything, the AI is going to do all the stuff for you. And then from having all of this stuff in place, then you want to design your ads. And when you design your ads, you want to make sure that your ads are going to be lead ads where you're going to generate leads. And then from that, you're going to have your automation in place to communicate with people to send them back to your sales page. So it would go like this. You have, after you get your sales page in order, and remember what I said, for any business, there's going to be similarities. So there's going to be a structure on how you put together your sales page. Even if you can't sell, there's going to be a structure. From that information, though, that data, so let's go back a little bit. How do we get data from our sales page? If you are able to allow people to buy from your sales page where you have a buy button, all you have to do is enable the feature on your shopping cart that'll allow you to see the people who filled out a shopping cart but didn't process. And then you will go and call them or have someone on your staff call them and ask them why they didn't buy. And then it would either be because your name of your business triggered a fraud alert. It could be that they have to turn their card on to have the order processed and they forgot. Or it could be that they have questions about your product or service that wasn't clear on the sales page. And once you get those answers, you make your sales page better. Now, the other place that you get that data from is from your automation with email. People will probably, when they keep getting your emails that's sending them to your sales page, they're going to have those questions and they could just simply reply back. So before my client even got the shopping cart, the abandoned cart feature turned on his shopping cart, I told him at a minimum, you need to make sure that you have someone, either yourself or someone that's going to reply to people who are emailing back about your service, because that is something that I had experienced when I had first got my follow-up system, my automation in place, is that people were emailing me back saying, Steve, I have a question about this. Can you answer this question for me? And I was like, okay, I'll answer that question. And then you know what I did next is I put those answers on my sales page. Like my sales page on with my company it's probably, if you were to lay it down, it would take up this whole conference table. Because when I got questions from people, I would add those in there. And then when my sales reps had questions for people, I would add those in there, because if they had the questions, other people are going to have the questions, because they're all interested in buying the same service. So they would have similar questions. It might just be said a different way. So we want to make sure we put as many of those answers in there, because if you put as many of those answers in there, it's going to, number one, make your business look different, because other businesses don't take the time to put those answers in there. And then it's going to allow people to get those answers to make a decision without having to talk to people. Not all people, but a good number of people will. I get sales all the time. And if your business cannot make sales, it's going to get a good number of people to book appointments, because they're going to have those answers, and it's going to make your sales call, and you all, my quote unquote, how to sell without selling call a lot better, because they're going to know what you had to offer. And it's basically just letting them know how the process would work to get them off and running with your product or service. So you can utilize email and with text. Sometimes people will text my staff and they will say, you know, I just have a quick question about this. A lot of the times it's like, how long will it take for the setup process? Like they'll have questions like that. And then with the AI chat back and forth, people will ask questions. Hey, I got this problem. Do you help with that? Yes, we do. Would you like to book an appointment? Yes, I would like to book an appointment. The AI goes back and says, okay, we have these slots available. Could you pick a time slot? If they pick one of the time slots, and then it books it with one of my available reps. It's that simple. And then when we get questions that they might ask, we still look to make sure that we have those answers on there. So let's just review it real quick. We have our winning ads. Even though we have our 1, 2, 3 process, you're going to put this in place, and then you're going to start running your ads. Once you start running your ads, you're doing your 1, 2, 3 constantly every day. You're running ads. You're going to know that you have a winning ad because you're getting clicks to your ad. If you're not getting clicks, your ad is not a winning ad for step 1. Step 2 is that your ad has to be generating the leads. If your ad is not generating leads, and I say you would know if your ad is working within 24 hours. I'm not going to put you under the same type of pressure I put myself on. I know if an ad is working within the first few hours. I would say 2 to 4 hours is the max that I'll give an ad time to run, because I just know from experience, but I have a lot more experience than most people do. So I'll know within 4 hours, but I would say give yourself 24 hours. That means that you're going to allow yourself to spend that money. I got this here. Allow yourself to spend that money 24 hours, and you'll know if your ad is working, because you're going to have leads. So you can't have leads come in without clicks. So it's, you know, if you want to say, well, what is the process? You got to have clicks first before you have leads. And when you're looking at your clicks, one of the things that you can pay attention to is what is the relation to clicks to how many people become leads. So let's just say that you had 100 clicks. You had 100 clicks and you only had 2 leads. Then you know that you're paying too much for your leads. I would say that a good number, And it depends on the offer. It always depends on the offer. Some of the times if you have higher ticket type offers, or if you're trying to get people to buy or make a commitment, not really a commitment to buy, but they understand clearly what they're going to be becoming a lead for, some of the times it can make that cost of the lead go up. But it varies depending on the market size, varies on depending on the product or service that you're offering. But what you need to look for, so there's really no true number other than what you can afford to pay. There's really no true number other than what you can afford to pay for a lead. And when I say that, can you afford to pay is, let's just say, for example, you're paying $10 a lead. But when you're making a sale over here, you're making $1,500. So you would pay all day for $10 a lead. Say you got 10 leads, so that's 100. You got 10 leads, so you just paid $100. But if you make one sale, you're going to make $1,500. You'll do that all day. So you're going to have to do those numbers yourself based on how much your product or service sells for. But a good way that you can get some understanding to see if you can make it work for you is you can see how many clicks are coming in, and the platforms will tell you how many clicks you have with your ad. You can look at it on a day-to-day basis until you get something that's working. You're going to look at how many clicks you have coming in and what is the click relation to the amount of leads that you're bringing in. So if you got 100 clicks coming in, you should be getting somewhere between 20% to 50%, depending on the product or service. But you want to be in a 20 to 50% range is what you want to try to push hard to work for. But, and I've actually had this conversation with Facebook reps where they were like, you could get your lead costs down lower. And I told them, hey, I've done a lot of stuff to get the lead costs down lower. And then they were like, well, how much is your product that you're selling for this business? It was for one of my other companies. And I said, well, on some of the times per sale, I can make like $30 to $40 to $50 to $60,000 per sale. And they were like, okay, yeah, you're paying $5 to $10 per lead. So I don't think that you have a problem. Like the person just started bagging down because it's like, why would I have a problem paying $5 or $10 per lead when you can make 30 to 60,000 or more per sale? So obviously they were like, well, is there anything else that we can help you with? Because obviously that's not going to be my hot button on there. So what you want to do, let's just review it real quick, is you're going to, instead of my 1, 2, 3, we're going to start 1, 2, 3. Work on your sales page, your presentation page, get your automation in place, get your winning ad in place, and then you go with the 1, 2, 3, run your whole system and start making sales. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. Also, I have some links if you want to look at one of the programs that I have available. If you want to learn how to do all of this stuff, I've made videos showing you exactly how you can, number one, get more qualified potential customers and how to turn those qualified potential customers into sales by using easy automation processes in between. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams.